Hey guys, today I'm here to talk about Lyme disease. I know we've all heard of Lyme disease. I'm sure we all have a relative or some loved one that has it actually. Since it's the most common tick-borne illness or illness in general, I think, in the United States. It's become very prevalent and it's becoming more and more prevalent every day. So in this video series, I'm going to talk about the book I wrote, and we're going to talk about different diseases that ticks, fleas, spiders, horseflies, and any blood-feeding insect can spread. As we all know about Lyme disease, however, there are several other co-infections spread by these blood-feeding insects that many people are unaware. So yes, Lyme disease is the huge elephant in the room. However, there are several co-infections that are very similar to Lyme disease, but slightly different. They can cause all kinds of different symptoms. They sometimes are in the same category as Lyme disease, but cause different symptoms. So we're going to discuss all that kind of stuff here in this video series. So hope you stay with us. Okay guys, I'm just going to talk briefly about the symptoms of Lyme disease. I think we've all heard of the fact that it causes sore joints and arthritis, tinnitus or ringing in the ears, tight neck, brain fog, insomnia, all kinds of different things that just literally make you kind of feel like you want to die. I've read that many places that people that have Lyme disease wish they were dead. It's very, very sad to say, but it just causes some negative mental effects after you get into the later stages of Lyme disease. So if you have it or if you've contracted it, I think it's something that you want to take seriously, because I do feel that for a lot of people it could potentially stick with you and it could potentially pop up later, especially if you get another type of co-infection. Okay guys, so we're going to start with the main type of Lyme disease, the main strain. It's called Borrelia burgdorferi. So now this is the main strain of Lyme disease. However, as I mentioned, there's several other different strains that cause almost identical symptoms. I'll cover some more of those in a later chapter, but they really just go on and on. I think there's 30 some different types of Lyme disease that are known. And some affect humans more greatly than others, and some just has some kind of mild symptoms. But either way, they're in this Borrelia family. So as mentioned, a lot of these symptoms can somewhat revolve around like a flu-like feeling or a hungover type feeling. Like I say, there are so many different symptoms, it's hard to mention. And the Borrelia bacteria can also cause different illnesses, such as tick-borne relapsing fever. Tick-borne relapsing fever is less well known and it's much less common than Lyme disease. However, it's much more serious. It has a higher mortality rate, it causes a high fever, and then your body temperature drops down, so this causes your blood pressure to drop. It causes stomach issues that revolve around the GI tract. So tick-borne relapsing fever is a very serious illness caused by the Borrelia family, in the same group, same family as Lyme disease. So now, as I mentioned, the deer tick is the common way for Lyme disease to be spread. However, really any tick or a flea or even probably a mosquito or horsefly could spread this stuff. So it's just not commonly known. It's not widely known information that you can really get this stuff from almost anywhere. Tick-borne relapsing fever, on the other hand, is believed to be spread by soft ticks. Same thing, tick-borne relapsing fever could be spread by just your regular everyday wood tick. Like I say, I think this is the primary way for it to spread. However, there are secondary ways for it to spread as well. Another common blood-borne infection carried by ticks is called babesia. This is a parasitic blood infection that actually infects the red blood cells. It causes malaria-like symptoms or malaise, fatigue, depression. It reduces the immune system. It could cause fever, chills, nausea, vomiting, all those different varying symptoms that coincide or overlap with Lyme disease and tick-borne relapsing fever. So you could see how if you don't have an accurate clear blood test, you're going to be very confused. Okay, one thing that we'll touch briefly on is Lyme disease testing. If you go to your regular doctor and you ask for a Lyme disease test, he'll give you a test, but the test is not accurate and it only checks for a couple strains of Lyme disease. You're going to need to go to a Lyme disease doctor or a doctor that has access to a specific tick-borne illness test that tests for the multiple strains of Lyme disease bacteria and co-infections that we're going to cover here later on. We'll talk more about the testing later on in in the video series. I just wanted to mention this and touch on it just to make sure, because testing is one of the most important parts to figure out what's going on so you can accurately treat your issue. Now, aside from Lyme disease, another illness that fleas primarily carry, and I would assume ticks and mosquitoes and any blood-feeding insect could carry, Bartonella. Bartonella is also known as cat scratch fever. Bartonella is one of the most common infections in the world. This is something that really isn't talked about. However, most people, a lot of people have Bartonella. Like they say the herpes virus on your lips, 80% of the population they say has that. In my opinion, it sounds like it's trying to be normalized, because I don't think 80% of the population has that. And I don't think a lot of the population should have this Bartonella. I think that people should be aware. I think they should test their blood. I think they should see that they have that issue, and I think they should try to fix it. One of the main symptoms of Bartonella, for example, is rage. I mean, everybody's heard of the crazy cat lady, cat scratch fever, you know, put the 2 and 2 together there. So if Bartonella causes mental issues and anger and erratic behavior, you know, could this be causing more crime? Could this be causing more suffering in our world? Something to consider as we move forward. So another common infection that is less known is called anaplasmosis. This can be spread by any tick or blood-feeding insect as well. It causes fever, malaise, just basically the same type of symptoms as Babesia and Lyme disease. So again, overlapping symptoms, so it can be hard to tell. It can cause mild liver injury as well. I'm sure we've all heard of the red meat allergy caused by the Lone Star tick. The name of that illness is called, I'm probably going to butcher it, it's Ehrlichia chafenesis. And so like I mentioned, this can cause fever, chills, fatigue, muscle pains, and it can be very dangerous to people with a compromised immune system. Throughout this video series, I'm going to talk about different parts of Lyme disease and its co-infections. I'm also going to talk about different ways to manage these infections. I'm not going to claim that there's any cures, but however, as I mentioned, I've had this since 2018 is when I got the bullseye rash. I may have had the tick-borne relapsing fever before that, and the Lyme disease bite brought it all out. So that's what I mean, is where you may have some of these infections, may not even know it. You get a mosquito bite or some type of insect bites you, and all of a sudden, boom, you're sick as heck, you know, and that's what I experienced. It was a tough ride, it still is. Okay, so let's see, other than that, guys, like I say, please subscribe. I really appreciate you guys coming along. My book is on Amazon. It's a short book. We're just finishing up the audio book. So thanks for coming along. I'm going to have a lot more videos with a lot more information. We're going to get more specific on different tick-borne illnesses. Thanks, guys.